Good morning, Candace Carter. Thoughts to go. This time I am freely translating the next part of my book. And I have to tell you this is not easy for me. I write in one language, and if I have to translate it into the next, it's more work than I thought it would be. So this is kind of, I wrote it down because I just can't talk in another language after I've written it in one language. So, Wir retten die Welt, We Save the World is written in German, and now I am doing the next excerpts in English. In English, and the German version and the English version I will be posting soon. So here goes. The markings. The WB, see that? The WB was invisible for people of the world. She resembled the Wizard of Oz, carrying out her schemes and intrigues behind a curtain of power and propaganda. In the year 2925, there took place a great celebration of the 75th anniversary of the WB's takeover of power. She considered herself invincible, but it is known that pride goes before a fall. A crisis was in the making that would eventually play an important role in the downfall of the WB. In the year of the great celebration, something odd began happening in the OK cast. More and more people developed brown spots on their foreheads, similar to birthmarks. At first, the skin coloring was small and could be covered up with cosmetics. But with time, it spread and grew and began to show up in more and more individuals. The WB feared the epidemic could also attack the UK class and set their scientists under pressure to find a cure. As you may remember, up to this time, fetuses showing any signs of disabilities were immediately disposed of. But then the researchers remembered tests done in Nazi Germany on handicapped people, and the decision was made to keep examples of people with various mental and physical anomalies for testing purposes. These individuals were kept in so-called zoos, hidden away from the general population. The scientists could at any time request test subjects for their experiments. Sophias Birth. In exactly the same year as the great celebration and the new epidemic, a child was born and placed in the UK cast. This child, however, was anything but normal. The man and the woman chosen for the mating saw each other, and it was love at first sight. Strangely enough, their names were Adam and Eve, like the first man and woman in the Garden of Eden, according to the Jewish tale in Genesis of the Old Testament. The short but extremely intense love shared by the two was passed on to the child in the womb. The overseers took note of their attraction, and for this reason Adam was immediately killed after the mating, and Eva was as soon as the baby was born. But they kept the child, and she was given the name Sophia. Sophia's father had been dark-skinned, and her mother bore the traits of people indigenous to the South Sea regions. She was small in build, with chestnut brown hair that curled sweetly around her oval face. Her eyes were of a dark chocolate brown. As I mentioned before, Sophia grew up in exactly the same time the markings epidemic was becoming more and more of a problem. Looking back, one could discern certain similarities. The markings were infectious, but so was Sophia, albeit in a totally different way. During the first 5 years of her life in the UK kindergarten, The teachers noticed nothing, but the children did. Instinctively, they sought to be close to her and were thus able to experience a long-forgotten emotion, joy. It wasn't only Sophia's appearance that attracted the others, but also her lithe movements and the tone of her voice. Those who built a relationship with her were changed. It was as if deeply buried yearnings for tenderness and affection had been kissed back to life. Okay, that's it for this time. You'll hear from me again. This is on playlist 2 of Thoughts to Go. Take care.